Hello everybody, this is Vincente Farley, and I'm going to do a tutorial on how to use a Crowquill Hunts 102 point nib. This is probably the industry standards for inkers to ink comic books, and it doesn't just necessarily stop with comic books. It could probably would be for just any type of illustrations. I personally like these. They come in different sizes, but the Hunts 102 is probably very flexible, and I personally would recommend it for anybody who wants to learn how to start inking. There are others, like I said, there are others, and everybody else is fine with it, but this is my personal favorite. I'm going to show you the type of inks that we use and how you need to take care of this. I have right now what I'm going to use is Speedball Super Black India ink. In my tools videos, I said that I had used Higgins and that I disliked it at times. I've been trying this for a while, different strokes with the nibs and the brush, and it works very well. So if there's an ink that you want to look for, get Speedball. Another thing that we have here is Speedball pen cleaner. The pen cleaner is just as it says. Basically, after you're done with this, after you're done inking with it, you can just dip it in, swirl it in, and just dry it off with a cloth. Or if you really want to get to the nitty gritty, you can use a small Q-tip to really get in there. And if you don't have that, you can still use water, which I have, just in case, for the brush. But if you're going to use water, please clean that. You have to keep in mind that you have to clean it. You have to clean it properly. It will rust up. I had a couple of pens where that happened to them. Now, let's go into how to operate this, how to use this pen. Let's take, as you can see right here, there's a little hole where and down underneath that hole, there's a little split. It splits off. That little hole is practically your reservoir for the inks. You just dip it, not too much, because if you pick up too much, it will blot up and will spill all over the place. So, just enough. Like so. What makes this pen so great is how many different types of thickness of lines you can get out of it, depending on the pressures you can get. And if it doesn't come out, don't worry, just be patient. And that's just for my thinnest line. I'm going to go thicker from thin to thick. And that's how it works. Couple notes on trying to use this. This works by pulling. You can pull like that or like so, but never push up. It will damage the nib. The great thing about these nibs is that they are not expensive. I think you can get one for, $2 at best at any local art store if they have them. It's flexible enough, but it's strong enough that you won't screw up on the thickness. And after you're done and you still have ink on it, just put it in the pen cleaner, swirl it around. I need to get more pen cleaner. Just clean it gently onto the rag. And for a little help, for a little extra cleaning, like I said before, you can get a Q-tip and just swab in there. Sorry, I have to do this with one hand. Just swab in there. It'll take off the excess water or pen cleaner, so you won't have to worry about it rusting up. As you can see, I got varying thickness in the lines just by depending on the pressure that I use. It can go as thin as this line did. Later on, I'm just going to switch out for a moment, and when we get right back, I'll show you how you can apply some of these techniques and some other techniques into inking and actual illustrations. We'll be right back. Okay, now as you see, we're going to try and put this into play. As you see, this is an illustration of an arm. As I've said before, I drew in with blue pencils just for construction, just shapes, and I went in with pencils on the details like folds and sinews of muscles and whatnot. So let's start in with the huge areas. Just dips a little in. I went in with a heavy pressure, lightened up, and went heavier again. Now we're going to go in again. One tip that you can go for is that depending on the light source, the more heavier the ink line is, the more that means there's shadow in this. That means the light source is coming from here in this area. So, if anything, I'll try and do the rest in time lapse. Okay, so now as you can see, I've pretty much outlined everything that I need to outline. The X that I put in, those are the areas where I'm going to black out completely. I'll do that in a brush. But there's another technique that you may have seen, but you never really know what it's called. This is technique that I'm going to show you. It's called, which I'm going to call spike flicking or something like that. They come in looking like spikes. There's a bit of parallel lines, and how you accomplish that, you just flick it in a way. But you have to hold it in a way or something, whatever works, for whatever floats your boat. And you just excuse me. You just flick. Flick it. And then do some more. It's a way of rendering with ink. So because with unlike ink, pencils, you can just depend on pressure that you apply, you can get a certain type of grayness to it, completely light or completely dark. This is a way of rendering. It's sort of like cross hatching and spike flicking. You gotta be real quick about it. That's another thing with inking. If you're going to ink, you have to be very deliberate with your lines. You can't be afraid to do it. So just a few more, and I think that should be about it. And maybe some more here, just not to overdo it. So yeah, that's one way of doing it. Okay, so yeah, and that's pretty much how you ink it. And I'm just going to go in to black those out real quick. And that, everybody, is how to use a Crowquill Hunts 102 pen. There are many different ways on how to approach someone's pencils if you are inking someone else, but that's the basic ways of how to utilize the pen. If you want to practice, try drawing a couple figures and try and working them out, or just draw different other lines. You can look up different other well-known inkers and study their works and how you can try and emulate those. But I hope you found this useful, and hopefully I will put up some more tutorials. And until next time, this is Vincente Farley, and I'll see you again.